Harley. So tonight on Harley's Sleepytime Cinema Selection, I am doing something a little different. It is not a movie that you can just go and watch. You will have to actually leave your homes and go to a theater at this moment, because what the movie I'm going to talk about is It. It is the 2017 version that I went and saw in theaters yesterday, and I super duper enjoyed. So what I love about this, and I don't know if this is coincidence or on purpose, I think probably somebody in a marketing department thought this up, but this version was released 27 years after the original was released in 1990, and it is, if you're familiar with the story at all, Pennywise the clown comes back, the monster, the It, comes back every 27 years to the town of Derry, where it wreaks havoc on the town. It is basically the story of a group of misfits who really don't have friends except for each other, and they kind of catch on to the fact that there's something really weird in their town, that children are disappearing, lots of children are disappearing, and weird disturbances are happening that really are terrifying them. It's basically all their worst fears come to life, and they come together to try to figure out why it's happening, and in so discover that the national average disappearance in their town is 6 times higher than anywhere else, and that it's especially high every 27 years or so. There tends to be a really horrific disaster of some sort, where either a club gets burned down, or there's a factory exploding, or just many different things that have happened. And it really affects one of the kids closely, because his brother is one of the children that's disappeared, and he is struggling to figure out what happened to his brother and if there's anything he can do, really. These children have to band together to stand up against their worst fear and see if they can take it down. So it's really just, it's terrifying on a really primal level. It's that child inside you that was scared of the dark, or that feared the thing under the bed or in the closet, or I don't know, if you were like me, I would not get out of bed in the middle of the night. Like, if I woke up and I had to pee, I would just hold it, and I would make myself fall back asleep, because I was not going to put my feet down on the bed or out of the bed to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. It touches that child inside me that is still scared sometimes in the middle of the night. And really, I think that's what this movie, even this one and the original, is so good on touching on. Now, I was a big fan of the original. I loved Tim Curry. He is the reason that I am still creeped out by clowns. Like, the logical side of my brain knows that clowns are nice. They just want to entertain. The other side of my brain is like, please don't get close to me, because I might just punch you if you're a clown and you come near me. I mean, there is that. So the nice thing about that they did with this one is that it focuses only on the first section of the movie, of the child's stories, and it's been confirmed that they are planning to make a chapter 2. When they made this one, they weren't quite sure how it was going to be received, if the people were going to love it or hate that they were messing with something from their childhood. And so they didn't automatically just push through quick production chapter 2. They wanted to see how this one did. Well, when they released the trailer for this one, it in 24 hours became the most watched trailer ever on YouTube. And so that was when they kind of decided, hey, this is going to be huge. Now, they did take some things that were left out of the original and put them back into this remake. They touch more closely on the bullies that are picking on the children, and they also put some of the more scary aspects back into the story. I don't want to give it all away because really, I mean, the fun of going to see this is being terrified, right? So I don't want to give all the scary things away. But I can say that the scares are a little bit bigger, a little bit more in depth, and they got me a couple of times. There was a couple of times where I jumped in the theater, and I have to admit that I did not sit with my feet on the floor the entire time. Um, Luckily, there was not anyone in front of me, so I could put my feet up on the seat in front of me. And half the time I sat cross-legged in my seat, and I did wait until the lights were fully on and the credits were done to get out of my seat and leave the theater. It stars Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise. He did an awesome job, actually. I really was not sure. Like he's been in some other things. I watched him in Hemlock Grove. Probably that's the most recent thing I've seen him in, and he was pretty creepy in that. Just at times, just being like this like kind of on the fringe weirdo. So in this, I love kind of what he did with it. He had said that he was really kind of concerned because Tim Curry did such a good job playing Pennywise in the first one. That he really felt pressure to kind of like portray it perfectly and try to bring something new to it as well. So there's a couple of things in the movie. There's a couple of times where Pennywise is he's speaking, but it's kind of indistinguishable. Well, Bill Skarsgård, he speaks Swedish. So there are times where he breaks into Swedish to kind of give it an edge of like just a different tone and fear. Also, apparently, there's times when his eyes in the movie don't look in the same direction. That is not CGI. That is something that Bill Skarsgård can actually do. So he was able to bring his own touches of like terror to the character. Also, he did not meet any of the teenagers that played the kids in the movie until he was in full costume, until they were shooting their scenes together, because the directors wanted that terror on the kids' faces to be as genuine as possible. So a lot of times when the kids are acting scared, they are really terrified. And I guess after everything, like shooting was done, they kind of like got together and like got him out of makeup so they could see him as a person, and just like, get that like logical side in their brain that he's not really this creepy mean dude, that he is actually a nice guy that was playing a really terrible character. A lot of the kids have been in other movies. Jaden Lieberher plays Bill. Jeremy Taylor plays Ben. Sophia Lillis plays Beverly. Finn Wolford plays Richie. Chosen Jacobs plays Mike. Jack Grazer plays Eddie. And Wyatt Olaf plays Stanley. Now, only two of these kids have I seen in anything else. Wyatt Olaf, who plays Stanley, was in both Guardians movies. And then Finn Wolfhard, I can't say his name. I'm murdering this. He was one of the main kids in Stranger Things. So there's a couple of kids that you might recognize. The other ones, I don't know if you watch. They all have filmography. So I mean, they've been in other things, just nothing that I've seen personally. So I thought they all did a really good job in playing that kind of like angsty in between stage, because they're all supposed to be like 10, 11, 12 years old, like still pretty young, which, I mean, that just gets me because my oldest is 7, or going to be 7 really soon, and I cannot picture him in 3 years like standing up to his biggest fear. And maybe 3 years will bring a lot of changes, but it's just that mom in me like was just terrified for these kids. And because I have 2 boys who are relatively the same ages as Georgie and Bill in the movie, that was really hard too. Watching them together and just seeing like really just adorable brotherly love moments and just knowing what was going to happen really tore me up. So I cried in the beginning of the movie. And fortunately I had enough, it was sad, but then there's enough like scary stuff that I got to like get out of my sadness and just work on being terrified. That was good. So I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the second one. I'm gonna wait probably until this one comes out on video and watch it again, because I don't know that I could go back in the theater and watch it again. I think once was enough for me. just even knowing what happens, it was just really, really terrifying. And I kind of love that about it. So let me know what you think. Hopefully I didn't give away too much. I don't feel like I did, but if I did, I'm sorry. For any of you that have not seen the original, you should go see the original too. That one also is a great movie for its own reasons. It is long though. It was a made-for-TV series, so it's like 3 hours and 30 minutes, something like that. But it does have the complete story, both the childhood story and the adult story. And if you're at all familiar with the novel is great. It is a long read, though. I think it's around 1,200 pages. It's one of Stephen King's longest works, and it is brilliant. There are some things that they could not put in this movie, obviously. There's a child orgy in the book. I don't know where Stephen King was going with that, but that definitely happens in the novel, and they did not put it in the movie for obvious reasons. So I think if you want to discuss at all, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know if you're going to go see it or if you have seen it. And I hope that you all have a great night, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.